you're back. So
I'm back. I love
okay,
your
so
peony flower
I
crown.
I did this just for you. These are actually for
I
our
love it.
chat. These are
No, it's
actually
great.
just like little pins. My mom's used to wear like lapel pins, so I'm like, I'm
Oh,
gonna do something special for Itika, and I'm just gonna
oh,
put
I
them
love
in right
that. I love
here.
that. You look
You know,
great.
you got to do something extra special when you got that Rhoda hair.
Oh my gosh. Oof, oof, oof,
Okay, well, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for doing this with me today.
of course.
Isn't it weird that I approached you a few weeks ago and I was like, oh, Itika, let's talk about how you're surviving this pandemic. We
Yeah.
did not know that there would be a murder and that there would be protests. So much has happened since then. So I just wanted to straight up ask you right now, girl, how are you doing?
Oof. That's such a loaded question. How am I doing? Um, I can't complain. There's that. I guess I can't complain. I'm. It's a lot. It's very emotional. Everything that's happening and being black. So
Yes.
there's that. So like you're black in the middle of a lot of stuff that's affecting directly black people.
Yes.
Being a business owner, being a
Exactly.
black owned business owner, being downtown in downtown LA, where most of the protests have been happening, where the
Mm-hmm.
National Guard came and was chilled with us for about a week.
Yeah.
And I could essentially see everything from my window. And it was really kind of interesting to look outside every day and see really what was going on and being in the middle of all that and my store being in the middle of that. Um, so it's just been a lot. It's been a lot.
Well, like you have your store is in downtown Los Angeles. You're like in the heart of downtown LA.
Yes.
So, what did you have to do basically to protect your investment? Because, people were looting. Not everybody was protesting.
Yeah.
Some people had a different agenda going
Right.
out there. So, how did you protect your store?
Well, I'm very grateful that we have a chain gate that we pull down every night. We
Mm-hmm.
have been hi Ernest. We have been vandalized before, and so we
Oh,
have a chain gate that comes down, and it really does protect anything from kind of coming through. But the chains have like holes in them, so the night
oh,
where they really kind of vandalized downtown, what I noticed was most of the stores and shops were not protected by some type of gate or fence or something that kind
mm-hmm.
of pulled down, and so that was good. Then we decided that we were going to put up boards because we saw that
Mm.
everything else was boarded up, and I actually saw on the news or somewhere like reported, like I saw people had kind of lifted the chain, like this the exact same gate we have.
Wow.
Like you're not as protected as you think you are. So we put up boards, and then we used spray paint and we wrote black owned on the boards, and that was really nice. Like it felt like our own protest in a lot of ways, like we're
Mm-hmm.
here and we're not going anywhere and we're part of this community and Black Lives Matter, like all of that. I felt like I was saying out loud every time somebody drove by my store. So we boarded up. We still have boards up. We're planning on taking them down because I feel like the protests have been very peaceful, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The looting was separate. So we're planning on taking them down this week.
Well, I want to say welcome to everyone who has joined us this afternoon. My name is Judith Norman, and I'm the founder of Start TV, which is a multimedia company that highlights the entrepreneurial journeys of multicultural women. And I am joined today by Itika Oldwine, who is, well, go ahead and introduce yourself, Itika.
So my name is Itika Oldwine. I'm the owner of Oldwine Florals, a luxury floral boutique located in downtown Los Angeles at 132 West 7th Street.
Okay. So pre the COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
before all of this, what kind of things how was your business doing? What kind of activities were you involved in? Tell us how business was before the
Before.
pandemic.
Business was was doing fine. We actually were doing really, really well. We opened our doors to the public technically in 2018. We were an online business from 2017 until 2018. So starting 2018 is when I really kind of started assessing the business. So the first year, 2018, 2019, we did good. We got like our bearings. We had an understanding of who our clients were, what our clients' needs were. And then 2019 to 2020, felt like, okay, we met this mark and now we're going to exceed it. And we had really, really big goals for ourselves, and things were kind of going as planned. And then the pandemic happened, and it was like immediately, like everything stopped, right?
Yeah, some of the things that you were doing, I know you were doing Airbnb experiences, and also anyone notices my flower crown. Uh,
Yay.
you also host these wonderful flower crown parties. I'm trying to find the photo of the one that you did for my book club. It was so
Yeah.
much fun. We
Yeah.
loved it so much. But talk about a little bit, about doing things where you actually were interacting hands-on with customers, doing the experiences, and how the fact that you can't do that right now, how has that
Yeah.
affected things?
So basically, I consider Oldvine a floral boutique, right? So we do
Mm-hmm.
pre not pre-made arrangements. You pre-order, we make your arrangement, we deliver them. That's one stream of income. But another big stream of income for us was events. So we're very privileged to become quite popular on the event scene in LA. So we had clients like Netflix and Hennessy and Facebook and Nike calling on us pretty regularly, and that was a big part of our our gross income. It was really nice
Mm-hmm.
to have that, and it came, when I did like my yearly like revenue review, like this much of our revenue comes from events.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had weddings. We weren't big on the wedding scene. I love that picture. Yes.
This is from the flower crown party that we had at
Yes.
your store,
Yes.
for my book club, and we just
Yes.
loved it. We
Yes,
just
that
loved
was
it.
so fun. I remember that very well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we did weddings, we did flower crown events, we did floral tutorials through Airbnb experiences. We did all of these things that really required that you don't social distance. Like social distance was like not a word I think any of us use. I'm not sure. People were walking around talking about social distancing before March,
Yeah.
but I certainly wasn't.
Me neither.
So yeah, so immediately all of those activities stopped because it was technically illegal. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember shopping for an event at the Flower Mart and kind of buzzing here and there that the Flower Mart would be shut down, that all events were shutting down. I was getting cancellations left and right. And I was like, oh my God, like, is this thing happening? Like, is it about to like halt all my business? And I called my client in that moment because I was about to like spend money on her flowers for her event. And I'm like, has your event happening? Like, I haven't heard from you. I know this is on the books. And she's like, no, that event is canceled and all future events are canceled. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay. I was like, this is real. This is, hi, Stacy.
Mm.
Right.
Hi, Stacey. Hi, everyone.
So yeah, so that was really felt like a death blow at the time, because I don't think I'm alone when I say I did not know what was going to happen next. Like, okay, what's next? And that meant for me, like, how am I going to pay my bills now? Because all future
Exactly.
events are canceled.
Wow. So I actually follow you on Instagram. And so it seemed to me, I mean, you were still doing business, you were still making deliveries, still doing things. So what adjustments did you have to make?
Well, the Flower Mart essentially was closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for about a week, I didn't do anything. Like, I was really kind of depressed. I was like at home, not interested in getting out of the bed. Like, what for? We don't have any deliveries. We don't have any events. No one's calling. No one's emailing me. Who knows what's going to happen? And then I actually hired a consultant, which I'm grateful, who I'm very, very grateful for, to kind of help walk me through this experience. I'm a Black-owned business. I'm a woman, and I'm educated. I went to UCLA for undergrad, University of Chicago for my master's, but there are things that I need help with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my business partner, who is also my fiance, he's very helpful in a lot of ways, but neither one of us had like experienced a pandemic.
Exactly.
So I was like, we need to get someone in here that can give us some tools, because I'm kind of at my capacity. I can't even get creative right now because I'm emotionally like I'm hurting. And so we hired a consultant that was really effective. And he was effective in helping me pivot, right? Without
Mm-hmm.
letting too much time go by.
Yes.
And so I want to shout him out. His name is Nick Sewell.
Okay.
And he was just an angel. So we met once a week and we talked about what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
So what was the most impactful pivot that you made?
I will say we really started focusing on our daily deliveries and getting out arrangements to people based on very specific needs. Birthdays, Mother's Day was approaching, so we needed to come up with a plan for Mother's Day because we needed Mother's Day to be big. Sympathy arrangements, thinking of you, graduation. I mean, we really just started drumming up on those things that we didn't really focus on because, frankly, events were kind of taking over,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a lot of time and energy to do an event. And so when we would get daily orders, it would be great, we would do them, they would be lovely, but it really was something that I think we kind of took for granted, that people were ordering from us. Like, we were like, oh yeah, that's great, we're going to send this out for you, no problem. And when I thought about it, I was like, those people are that's like the heart and soul of Oldwine. Like, the people that
Right.
call us and trust us to send arrangements to their moms, people that call us and trust us to send arrangements to the hotel because they're about to propose, the people that call us and want to uplift their sister's spirits. Like, those are the people that trust us, and that is who we have to really dial in with. And that's what we did.
Now, how are you doing flowers? I have very limited experience with the flower industry. But I do know that flowers usually come from all over the world because
Yeah.
you're in the heart of the flower district.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there a stoppage of any kind of getting product? How did
Yeah.
you handle that?
Yes. My arrangements were, they weren't sad, but they were a little like,
They were beautiful.
I mean, in the beginning, I was like, I am limited. So I'm going to tell people this is what I have. Like, this is what I can deliver. I had a full website. I literally shut my website off. I didn't shut my website off. I took all my products off. So I took all my products off. I only offered designer's choice, which is what I could get my hands on. And that's what I delivered until,
It's
sorry,
downtown LA.
downtown. So that's what I delivered until I could figure out. I mean, not even I couldn't figure it out until the flower people figured out how to ship flowers into the country, because for a long time in the very beginning, they weren't allowing the guys from Holland, New Zealand, Thailand, they weren't letting them in with flowers. So we had to
And were
just
they
local growers.
okay? I was going to ask you about the local growers. So,
Yeah.
did you still have access to the local growers, or did they also shut
I
down?
did. I had access to the local growers, but the local growers are the local growers. Like, we don't work California, which is beautiful and it's warm and sunny, and we have poppy fields and tulips and,
Mm-hmm.
roses. There are things that are grown locally, but there are so many varieties that are not. And
Exactly.
that are even coming from, other parts of this country that we couldn't get into LA.
Okay. Welcome everyone who's joined us. This is Judith Norman from Start TV, and I'm with Itika Oldwine of Oldvine Florals. Itika, you have an interesting story about how you got into the floral industry. Please share.
Oh, well, I started off as a marketer for a very high-profile floral designer who worked out of the Beverly Hills Four Seasons on Doheny. And I was brought on to help kind of bring him into the fold when it came to promoting his floral business online. He didn't have a social media account. His website wasn't up. He just was really successful by word of mouth and from being in the business for so long. And so I came in and I built out a website, and I created a Facebook page and Instagram and all those things. And as I was doing them, he was working on another project that took him away from the flower business, and I started doing more work for him outside of the marketing piece. And I started like taking calls and taking orders and helping clients come up with ideas for this and that. And then it got to the point where I was doing events, and clients were like, you know, he had big clients, so they're like, I'm calling from JP Morgan, and we're doing this huge event, and it's going to be 300 people, and we need this and this. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just starting to like look around, like, who's going to help me here? And they're like, you got it. And so I'm like, all right, so you have this budget, and it's this day, and it's this many people, and what colors? And I just kind of off the fly started working directly with his clients in the back office. And I also, though, developed a really strong friendship relationship with his floral designers, and I loved it. I was like, oh my God, these designers are so fun. They're so easygoing. They're super talented. I get to be around flowers. The flowers were just beautiful. The vases were gorgeous. The clients were always happy. And I really was like I feel like I found like a treasure trove. like, oh my God. And I wanted to continue to work in that capacity or with flowers. I hadn't designed anything. But then I also got to a point where I was like, I think like most jobs I found in my life, like, I think my time here is up. But what do I do next, right? And my fiance suggested that I own my own flower business. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm a marketer. I do this, I do that. I don't do flowers. And he started to highlight all of the things that I had done while I was working with this floral company, and how, you know, great I was at it. And he's like, you should do that for yourself. And so I was like, okay, are you going to help me? And he said yes. So he was very instrumental in putting that like thought into my head that I can have my own flower business. And then also being what I needed was kind of like, okay, well, I at least need a safety net. And he, you know, was that. And so it was a really, really just amazing opportunity that was presented. And then I took it and I said, I'm going to open a floral business, call it Oldwine, and we just got to get a website up and just email blast everybody I know to buy flowers from me and see what happens.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Well, for those who don't know, Itika and I met because I was working on a book project featuring women entrepreneurs in Los Angeles. It's called Women's Work, Los Angeles Edition. And here's one of the photos of Miss Itika with an interesting quote. And please share what you meant with that quote.
It's so funny because I think it's a great quote too. And I probably meant something different when I said it then than what I do now. Because you know how we grow and change.
Yes.
And based on, the world is different. But I think foundationally what I was trying to say is I want to be proud of myself and who I am and what I represent and what I bring to the table. I don't want to have any shame in what I'm doing, or I don't want people to not think of me as someone that brings nice thoughts, joy to their heart. I want to be someone positive in the world, and I want to do something positive in the world, and I want my contribution to be that. And I feel that way. Like, and I've always wanted that. Like, I've always been not a pleaser, but definitely someone that feels like if I'm in your life, I want to have a positive effect, a positive impact. And if I can't do that, then I don't need to be here.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, right now, considering the climate, there's so much talk about diversity, representation. Do you have anything to say about that in terms of the floral industry, about representation of African American women florists, or the event industry? What are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts
About
are,
opportunities.
I know it's there's so much. What I would like to think is that we're entering into a new era, a new day, where we are conscious of the fact that everyone isn't afforded the same opportunities. And I
Mm-hmm.
think for a long time, as African Americans, we knew it. We knew that the scales were tipped not necessarily in our favor, but I'm learning, especially with Black Lives Matter being so something that we're talking about publicly, that everybody, either they didn't know it or they didn't recognize it or they didn't want to realize it, but now it's like they can't deny. I mean, they can obviously, but
Right.
it is very close to being undeniable to anybody with eyes that can see that um, there is a time we need to level things out. So me being one Black owned florist here in downtown LA, in the LA Fashion District, in the heart of the floral district, um, it's definitely imbalance. There's one of me, like, and
Mm-hmm.
and there's probably hundreds of florists in this little this little area in downtown. I would like to know how many there are, but honestly, there's one of me that I see,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can start working on consciously making those changes, and not just within our community, but within the nation and the world.
Well, this is such a time with such a stressful time. I mean, we have viruses, we have protests, just so much going on. That's just kind of. Do you find that people are wanting flowers more just because of the way flowers make you feel? I mean,
I feel,
has there been an increase in the demand for flowers?
I feel like people want flowers more because for several reasons. I think not just because there's a pandemic, but there's a pandemic, and people are trapped in their homes, and they're like, how can I beautify my space? I have to be here,
Exactly.
right? When we were, now we're like phase 2, I think, in California, so there is a lot more movement. But that was a big thing for people. Like, I want my house to be beautiful because I'm kind of stuck here. And I also think people who celebrated birthdays or wedding anniversaries or, milestones during the quarantine still wanted to celebrate. It's like, I don't want to just let the day go by without celebrating or being celebrated. And so that called for flowers, because it's like, okay, we'll deliver it, no contact delivery, and you'll have this moment where you'll feel like, you know what, I was recognized today, or I'm recognizing today because today is important.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think we're moving towards a more, I'm hoping that we are appreciating nature, and we're appreciating the things that we can get through having natural indoor plants and fresh flowers and air purifying
Mm-hmm.
house plants. Like, I'm feeling that. I am feeling that.
Okay, so we are moving into phase 2 here in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So, what type of things are you going to implement post COVID into your business?
You know what? It's really tough to tell. I'm very, like, my business is pretty no contact, just in general, when we do our daily deliveries. It's kind of been that way always. Like, if you're home, we'll like hand you the flowers, but we're not like coming in your house and setting them down anywhere.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I work either alone, or I'll have like one other designer with me. But generally, we're not like a big shop here. But when people start doing events, it'll be interesting. Like, I'm definitely going to continue to wear masks and require that my team wears masks. It's hard to keep 6 feet away from people when you're working together. Like, grab this from me so
Right.
we can put this over here. Like,
Right.
like, what are we gonna do? Like, I'm gonna have to get like some kind of like lever to move things over. I don't know how that's gonna work, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll see. I think I was actually talking to my cousin about this yesterday. She's a doctor in the Bay Area, and she was really like, we all need to do what we feel comfortable doing. And that's that. Like, if you don't feel comfortable delivering, if you don't feel comfortable going to an event space and setting up, then I'll call you in a month. I'm not going to force that upon anyone.
Exactly. So what has this whole experience, taught you about yourself as a business owner and just as yourself, your person?
This experience. So what it's taught me about myself. It's so crazy because I've spent a lot of time analyzing other people. Do you do that? I'm always like, in hell.
Yeah, I kind of do.
So I'm like, let me think about myself for a second because I'm spending my whole time like in other people's business. I just what it has highlighted about me is that I just get it done. So I'm like, we about to protest Black Lives Matter, let's go. We're getting looted, we need some boards, we're putting Black owned on there, put it up, get it done. Like, people still need flowers at this time, but there's a march going through downtown and we got to reroute this whole delivery process, reroute it. It's really about getting things done in the midst of everything while still staying conscious of what's happening around us. So I am still active in the community. I'm still joining the protests, making sure that I'm checking on people, making sure that I'm supporting other businesses, sharing Black businesses. My fiance and I have donated to several organizations. Awesome. So it's really, for me, it's a time to continue to get it done and then just keep grinding, because a change is coming. And the minute that we let the reins a little loose, in my opinion, it could set us back way further than we imagine.
True. Well, I appreciate your time today. Let us know where we can find you on social media.
So we are Oldwine Florals. We are hashtag Oldwine Florals. All of our social media accounts are at Oldwine Florals. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. We're located in downtown LA. I know I said that in the beginning, but I'll repeat that for anybody that's here that wasn't there before. At 132 West Main Street, and we're online at oldwineflorals.com.
Okay, and I'm Judith Norman, founder of Start TV, and we highlight the entrepreneurial journeys of multicultural women. And you can find us on Instagram at Watch Start TV and online at starttv.net. Itika, thank you so much. I enjoyed talking to you as always. And
I love your peony flower crown. I love it.
Thank you. It's all you. It's all you.
Yes, I think those
you taught us how to do this.
I think those are coral charm peonies and creme de la creme, if I know my peonies.
If you say so. You're the florist. You're the florist. But thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great day.